everyone. So Uber did not crush their earnings report. In this video, I'm going to go over the earnings statement that Uber provided, and I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do with my shares. So I'm recording this on Friday before the bell. You'll be seeing this Monday after the bell. Uber released earnings yesterday as well as their earnings call and stuff, and they did not do well, as expected. If you've been following Uber for some time, you should not have expected them to do well this one. I created a video which you can see which you can watch up there, which I talk about it. Yeah, they were going to eat shit on quarter two, and apparently they eaten more shit than we thought. So as far as their GAAP EPS, they had a consensus of a minus 0.88. They missed it by 14 cents. They did beat on revenue, so that is good. We're going to go into their earnings statement, their press release later. Gross bookings, they missed. Trips, they missed. Monthly, their active platform customers, which is all of their unique customers, they missed a lot. So they did not do well. Let's take a look at their earnings report, and we'll see what we can find. So this is Uber's supplemental data report. I think this is the best format in which to showcase their earnings. I encourage you, if you're following Uber, to listen to their earnings call, and I also encourage you to read their 10K if it's out yet. So as far as their operating metrics, now keep in mind this is in millions. They went from 99 million in quarter two 2019 to 55 million in quarter two 2020. Now this is their map. You can just consider this any unique customer. So they've had 55 million unique customers in quarter two 2020. Now they tried to pretty this up with these metrics saying plus 71 and plus 101. And I'm not going to expect you to be able to read this fine print, but basically it says that this excludes the impact of East India and the other markets that they exited. But I don't care. They may include this, and they may include this all they want to try to pretty this up. But the numbers are the numbers to me. So at the end of the day, they went from 99 million to 55 million unique customers, and then they went from 1.6 billion trips to 737 million trips year over year in the second quarter. That is absolutely horrible. But I mean, no one should be taking this as a surprise. Like, the economy was shut down for most of the second quarter. I mentioned during the last video I did on Uber that they were going to eat shit this quarter. This is the quarter that they were going to eat shit on, and boy are they eating it. Their gross bookings, which is all the money that someone paid to Uber before anything like discounts or other shit are taken into account. So they went from 15.7 billion in quarter two 2019 to 10.2 billion in quarter two 2020. Again, not great at all. So as far as their adjusted net revenue, they went from 2.8 billion. Now this right here, the 3.1 billion, I read into this a little deeper. So this is pretty much excluding the impact of driver appreciation. Excluding that, it'd be 2.8 billion, but it doesn't matter. They went from that to 1.9 billion in this quarter of this year. So absolutely horrible. Adjusted EBITDA, they went from a loss of 656 million to a loss of 837 million. Now, I know a lot of that has to do with the money that they spent acquiring businesses, but a lot of this is just lost. Right here, they affirmed that their expectation that they're going to reach profitability in 2021. I'm going to hold them to that, and they explain it by using their liquidity and position and all their equity stakes in the businesses that they acquired. So this is supposed to make us believe that they're going to be profitable in 2021. Okay, so this is what I want to show you guys. So their mobility, these are their rides. This, I mean, 73% drop in year over year, expected, right? I mean, the economy was shut down for most of their second quarter, which ended at the end of June. So the economy was shut down in phases. At least throughout second quarter. So I expect rides to take a shit, which they have. However, their delivery, which is their Eats business, which they call delivery, they're actually kicking some ass. Like, they're taking advantage of this pandemic, and they are actually doing really well. Now, they're still not profitable, but it's because they're spending a lot of money into this delivery business. They're acquiring businesses and all that other stuff. So the revenue jump, I mean, that does give me a little hope, and I'm going to talk about that at the end. Now, one thing I do want to point out, I believe these are their GAAP earnings. their GAAP income statement. Now, although they dropped in revenue from 3.1 billion to 2.2 billion, one thing I want to point out is that their net loss this quarter is a lot less than their net loss of last quarter. And one of the reasons for that is that they've been reducing their overhead. Now, one of the results from last quarter, and this is unfortunate, is that they laid off a bunch of people. Like, a bunch of people. As a positive result of that unfortunate action, they've reduced a lot of their overhead. So, their loss is a lot less than it was last year. So, I guess at least there's that. Their assets, they've decreased in they've decreased since December the 31st. Their cash is going down. Current assets is going down. I mean, their assets have taken a hit. Liabilities, they've gone up. And their equity, the money they get from their stock, they could get from their stock, that's also going down. So that's a little worrisome. They have debt, which has increased. So, okay. They're feeling the pain a little bit, but at least they have more assets and liabilities. So that's still a positive, I guess. And as far as their cash flow, they are not bringing in money from their operations. They are losing money in their operations. That also doesn't make me feel good, but that's also been the case for years. They have not made money from their operations in a while. Okay, so the money that they had from their financing activities in 2019 is not there in 2020. But they do have a lot of cash on hand, which is beating a period. So at the end of all of this, they still have 8.1 billion cash. So I guess there's that. Although it is a drop off from 2019. So I guess they still have some liquidity, I guess. So yeah, according to their earnings statement alone, they're not doing too well. Aside, of course, from their delivery business. That's kicking ass. I did listen to their earnings call. I listened to Dara speak, and I listened to all the QA and all the stuff. One thing that they did mention, aside from, again, reaffirming that they're going to be profitable in 2021, at least that's their prediction, is that in countries where the lockdown is lifted somewhat, they've received, I think like in France and somewhat, and some other places, they've received like I think a 70% increase in the rice business, so things are improving since the end of the last quarter. And not only that, but the lockdown in the U.S. has been receding in many parts. Like, for example, here in Ohio, I mean, I can go wherever I want. We don't really have a lockdown other than wearing masks and shit. So things are improving, and I can agree with that. I mean, except for places like California and Florida and stuff, like, things are going pretty well. Well, not really, but as far as the lockdown itself, things are improving. I wouldn't say they're well, I think they're improving. So my thoughts on this, I don't think it was a good earnings report. I mean, but no one expected it to be a good earnings report. However, I do agree that things are starting to improve, especially in places that aren't the U.S. Rides are picking up, and their delivery business is kicking ass. Now, I have to remain hopeful for the future. I have to keep believing that things will eventually get better as far as the corona situation in the U.S. And despite Uber's claims that they're going to be profitable in 2021, a lot of that depends heavily on the pandemic situation and how the U.S. is going to get out of it. So if the U.S. improves from it and the lockdown continues to cease here and maybe Florida opens back up a little bit and the virus abates a little bit, yeah, I mean, I can see shit picking back up, and I can see the rice business picking back up. And once that happens, yeah, I think Uber is going to start kicking ass. So as far as right now, I did make a mention in a couple videos that I was going to sell Uber stock. And I think I'm going to hold on to them from now, at least as a long play. I'm going to try to hold on at least until October. October is when most of my shares in Uber go long. If the rice business does pick back up and Uber maintains their success as far as their delivery business, their Eats business, yeah, I can see them making a pretty penny. And on the long term, I can see them being profitable maybe in 2021. And beyond that, here on out. However, if the pandemic still continues to take its toll in the U.S. and we end up staying in this state, or even worse, if we start locking down certain parts of the country, I would say that I don't know if Uber can be profitable. And at that point, I mean, that's going to stretch the profitability timeline even more. And that's, I don't know that's gonna make me very happy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on to them for now. I'm gonna keep watching the news. I'm gonna keep staying long on them. So I'm gonna hold my money right now. However, there are some triggers that I have in which I would consider selling. So if Uber for some reason goes above maybe $40, and if you're wondering where I got the number, I pulled it out of my ass. If Uber goes above $40 without any justifiable news to back it up, I will probably start selling my shares if I find a better deal. But anyways, what do you think about Uber, especially their earnings? Do you think they're still a viable company to invest in? Do you think they're still good in the long term? Do you think this is maybe a lost cause? Let me know what you think in the comments. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day and eat your vegetables.